Just in from the White House. The White House once again lowering the flag above the White House to half-staff, and the president now releasing a new statement, his first direct comments about the senator personally. CNN's Abby Phillips joins us now from the White House. So, Abby, what did the president have to say in this statement?
Well, hi, Jim. This just in from the White House after a day of controversy about why the White House flags remained raised, even though there was a request by a bipartisan group of senators to lower them. The White House has now issued a statement addressing John McCain specifically. I will read it to you in its entirety. It says, "Despite our differences on policy and politics, I respect Senator John McCain's service to our country, and in his honor have signed a proclamation to fly the flag of the United States at half-staff until the day of his interment. I've asked Vice President Mike Pence to offer an address at the ceremony honoring Senator McCain at the United States Capitol this Friday. At the request of the McCain family, I have also authorized military transportation of Senator McCain's remains from Arizona to Washington, D.C., military pallbearers and band support, and a horse and caisson transport during the service at the United States Naval Academy. Finally, I have asked General John Kelly, Secretary James Mattis, and Ambassador John Bolton to represent my administration at the services." Now, this is the first time, Jim, since Saturday, since John McCain died, that President Trump has directly addressed the senator himself. He initially put out a statement about 2 sentences long that offered his condolences to the McCain family, but didn't address McCain at all, leaving it to First Lady Melania Trump to say that McCain was honored for his service to the country. Now, after days of this back and forth, the White House has now lowered the flags above the White House behind me. After people raised this question, why has it taken so long for them to do that in response to those requests? The president actually did not answer several requests from reporters today asking him to comment on McCain 5 times. So here we are, Jim, the White House finally moving to correct what seems to be a major misstep on their part.
Abby Phillips, thanks very much at the White House. But we should note the president delivering what many people on both sides of the aisle had called for here. Dana Bash, this statement from the White House, the lowering of the flag, again, having raised it this morning, kind of creating this confusion around Washington because some buildings had it at half-staff, others, the White House did not. Do we know what led the president to in effect, change his mind on this?
Pressure, I mean, unrelenting pressure. It's not as if there wasn't pressure before, but as Susan and I were talking about as we were listening to Mitch McConnell, the veterans groups coming out, making clear that this is ridiculous. These are my words, not their words, but basically unpatriotic to be this petty with this man who served this country for so many years under such duress, was beaten and tortured for defending the values of this country when he was a Vietnam prisoner of war, never mind the fact that he's the sitting armed services chairman.
Of the same party, we should know.
Yeah, never mind that. And I'm not even talking about politics. I'm talking about basic, basic American values. So you know what? It's about time. It's a pity that this was even a discussion, that this was even, frankly, a distraction from what should have been a united front from every single person who is an American citizen, never mind the President of the United States.
Susan Page, though, we do often see the President dig his heels on things, particularly that he has found personal affronts and John McCain's disagreements with him in public. The President, it appears, has taken personally at times. Is this a surprising move from your view for him to reverse course in relatively short time for this administration?
I'm not sure in a 24/7 news world this is in a short period of time. I think it is not surprising that he balked initially, and I think it is not surprising that he's reversed course. And I do think it underscores the point Senator McCain made in his parting statement to the nation, which was just released today, where he said, "We weaken our democracy when we think of ourselves as members of tribes rather than Americans." Senator McCain's statement did not mention Donald Trump by name, but it seemed very much directed at Donald Trump and the tone he has set for our nation.
If I may, can I just say one thing? I think you're right about that, but the thing, what makes this even worse is that this wasn't about tribes. This was about personal animosity by the president. And that is exactly what we've heard over and over again from John McCain as we've been playing his own words from his books, from his speeches, even from his final final letter to the nation that you don't put your personal animosities or grievances first, particularly when you're trying to act as a patriot.
Adolfo, you worked for Senator McCain. You also have since then supported President Trump. I wonder, are you disappointed that it took the president this amount of time to express that gratitude to John McCain and respect for him?
Well, I have a little bit of a unique perspective here, I guess. I was a surrogate for John McCain and his spokesperson, worked in both his presidential campaigns and had wished he'd been elected president of the United States. And I owe my entire career in Washington to him. Yes, I do support President Trump. I will say that, I brought the document here, that John McCain has supported President Trump 83% of the times on policy. I realize we're talking about something else today,
But
on this issue specifically, first, I'm glad we got to the right place. I'm not going to speculate, frankly, because I don't know what is in President Trump's mind. Of course, there were press reports that President Trump was not to be invited to the event. He is a human being as well, as we all are. And I think the protocol that he followed, who knows who gave that instruction, was precisely followed, which is in a normal circumstances, the flag is at half-mast for a short period of time, and that's exactly what had happened.
I'm not certain about that.
The
tradition has been for some to keep it at half-staff through internment.
But if you look at the code, which is 4 U.S.C. Section 7, the exact protocol was followed here. Obviously, Senator McCain, I would have had it on, of course, the entire time, personally. But in certain individuals, it has been a longer period of time. I think this is about honoring President McCain, Senator McCain. I'm glad we got to the right position. I think the president, I don't know if it was veterans group. I think this is frankly spepeculation. I don't think there's anybody to say it. But,
were you disappointed that that wasn't a more natural reaction?
Well, I would have wanted the flag at half-mast the entire time. Yes, I would have preferred that. I don't know what was in the president's mind when he felt that maybe, Cal Coolidge once said, if you don't say it, you don't have to explain it. For all I know, the order was initially just do what normally is done under these circumstances. And again, there wasn't the thinking, or maybe the president didn't get the advice he should have from his counselors.
I think that's being more than kind to President Trump. This is a sad example for, I think, young people in politics. I think about so many people like myself. The first time I could cast a ballot was in the 2008 election for President Obama. I was in college. Someone asked, were you on the campaign trail? I was in school. But I remember the concession speech from Senator McCain. I remember throughout his entire career, I've been reading about him all weekend, just about the level of respect and decorum and courage and just friendship that he has displayed. And Donald Trump is the total opposite of everything John McCain stood for. And for young people, specifically in this time in politics, who are entering into the arena, who are seeing the vitriol that is going on in our current political discourse, this was an opportunity for Donald Trump to lead from the front, to lead by example, and he didn't. And so many young people, I think, should understand that while I didn't agree with Senator McCain politically, I respect him. And we can disagree politically, but respect folks for the work that they've done for this country. And just in this moment and in this time, I wish more people could see examples of that. And Donald Trump, he just fumbled the dang on ball. Okay. I'm disappointed and just disgusted.
Can I say something on that very quickly? I don't disagree with the word you have said. However, there is a however. We just heard Senator McConnell. Most of these individuals, unlike President Trump, have had 20, 30 years of working together. Ted Kennedy and John McCain, 10 years ago at the funeral and so forth. Donald Trump is a completely an unconventional figure that's come into our political life.
I think that's an excuse, with all due respect. You don't have to know somebody 20 years to respect them.
I think
Donald Trump can read, so I hope he could have read the history, John McCain's history, his story. You can just read a piece about how when he was ejected from his plane, he broke all of his limbs and he broke his arms and treaded. You do that.
I'm not going to finish.
The excuses for Donald Trump here.
You're saying that he's not an experienced politician.
Right. Look, I'm not going. The last person who's going to be in a position here to say anything negative about John McCain is myself. I adored him and revered him and owe everything to him. However, I do think, and important for this program, to explore the whys. And there are some elements to this that I think are different. He doesn't have the 30 years here in Washington. He has not experienced. Yes, you might say that's just the human reaction of someone. For all I know, the president felt that he wasn't going to be part of this event. He was not going to be invited, and to lay low was his instinct.
Jim,
when that
Listen.
didn't work out, we've seen now the president is in the right place.
I think our moms and dads probably taught us some lessons before anybody came to Washington about how to treat when someone passes away.